Well, I'm on the farm today, and I thought I'd do a short hay update video. I hope it's short. And today is May 25th, Memorial Day here in the United States, where we kind of take pause and honor those who have fallen in service to this country. But we've had rain. We're still in drought even with the rain. But I think rain gauge here is showing just a tick over an inch, but on the May 21st, we started the evening of May 21st, going into the night of the 22nd. We had rain, and this makes like 2 1/4 total since that day. So it's not a lot of rain over a number of days, considering how dry we've been, but it has been slow and kind of soaking. And last night we had some pretty heavy rain, and I can hear the creek. I'll go down and look at it here in a second, but I'd be surprised if it's not muddied up a little bit. But you know, the grass is definitely liking the moisture. I just hope it's not too little too late. The creek is definitely fuller than it has been for a lot of weeks, but it, you know, normally with the kind of rains we've had, if it were full, it would be up on this rock right here, and maybe even past it, might be over it a little bit. So it's not as muddy as I would have thought, which is a reflection of how much rain that we didn't get. But we'll take whatever we can get. So I'm over here at the field around my barn where I planted the teff grass. Oh, it's been 4 days, 3 days, 4 days, something like that. And I'm just kind of looking around to see if I see anything popping. And I think I am. I don't know if you can see that, but what I'm looking for is a single blade. I'm not looking for something like that. Yeah, it's definitely coming through. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's definitely germinating. Now you can see that okay. Once I get my eyes tuned to it, you can see some right there. So, you know, within a week, there'll be a nice green hue to this field. I mean, you can already see some green on it, but that's the stuff that's dying off. And from when I hit it with Roundup. But, you know, anything can happen. The seed was fresh seed, but you never know if you're going to have a bad batch. But I'm just kind of looking here, and I think what I'm seeing is the teff coming through. I can kind of focusing in out here a little bit. I'm not going to walk out in there because it's kind of muddy. But hopefully in about 30, 35, maybe 40 days, we'll take a cut. I'm not going to let it get quite as big this year like I did last year. I'm going to come in here and cut this stuff as soon as I can. And I'm also going to be spraying it for broadleaf weeds, which I did not do the last time. And see if we can get some clean hay out of here. I'd like to get at least 3 cuts, and then this fall, this will go into Timothy. So I got tractors and equipment in here in my barn. We're changing oil and greasing things up and just checking stuff over. This rain has kind of given me a little more time to get ready. Probably should have been ready a long time before this, but you know, procrastination is alive and well on this farm. But anyway, we got a potential weather window coming Oh, probably about 5 days away. And the weather guessers are saying maybe uh, if this is Monday, they're talking like maybe Thursday or Friday. Uh, the rain might subside and we can maybe start cutting a little bit of hay. The wrinkle is um, we need some wind, and they're not forecasting much in the way of wind, and we need some sun. You can have clear skies after a rain, but if the water out of the ground is evaporating through the hay, sometimes it makes it difficult to get a good dry down. But anyway, got my hands full, kind of checking over equipment and getting ready to move out. So one of the things I'm pondering on this field here, the way it wraps around my barn down this way, is you get into some really tight corners down in here, but it's not a rectangular field. And you know, that portion up there is, this portion down to like right in here is rectangular, and then it's kind of like it goes around like that and then comes up and then comes out like this. Well, one of the things I want maybe in 2026 is I want my customers to come through. There's a gate up there, and I got cut a couple of trees. I think I've talked about this before, but I want them to, when they come for hay, I want them to come around the perimeter of this field. I want them to go all the way around up along those woods and then come up to my barn this way. And then when they go out, they just continue straight out this way and go up to the gate and go out. And so I need room to park equipment and wagons and round bales, you know, if I'm making round bales. But I need to be judicious in how I lay this out, because I don't want to obliterate too much hay ground. And so, you know, from this corner right in here going down, and when I hit those woods over there, if I cut straight across, I've got a little bit of a rectangle right in here. I'm not sure, you know, I'm not sure how far to come down in here. I don't think I want to put like round bales down in here, because when we have like the 100-year floods, the corner of this field will get water on it. And it's not, I don't know if you can kind of see the floodplain where it kind of comes up right there, but it's not because the creek runs through here. What happens is there's a big turn down in that part of the creek. You can't see it for the trees, but there's two dry creeks up here, and of course when the water's raging, they're trying to dump water into the creek, and there's nowhere for it to go, so the creek just kind of backs up into this corner a little bit. So I don't want a bunch of wet and round bales. And so what I'm thinking about doing is taking round bales and going down along the edge of the field, almost like a guardrail, so the customers have no choice but to come down along the perimeter of the field. And because normally what they do, they just say to heck with it, and they drive right across the field. My tough grass last year, when my stand was really good, there's that little white building down there, I don't know if you can see it, there's a well down there, and that well pumps water from that corner beyond those trees to a house way up on the hill. And I'll have more to say about that in other videos, but anyway, they needed to check the meter or do something, and I just happened to be up here and I thought I heard something. I was in my barn, and here comes a guy, a young 20-something. Not that 20-somethings are bad, but this guy wasn't exactly good. And he just come bebopping down through there, running right over my hay down to that field, and down to that, through the field and down to that building. And so to my knowledge, there was only one lock on the gate, and they have a right-of-way coming in through this way. But I mean, you would need a like a Rubicon Jeep with a huge lift kit in it to get through there, or something tracked. But there's really no right-of-way to come in through that gate, and especially to come marching down through this field. And so I asked the guy, I said, how'd you get in here? And he's like, well, through the gate. And I said, I understand all that, but how'd you get through it? And what he did, he cut the lock. He cut a link out of the chain and put one of their locks in there. But I don't mind them coming in at all. But the power company and the hay customers need to stop just willy-nilly driving through the field. So I want them to come down and around, come back up, and then come over to the barn. We'll probably load them out of that side door. And but I need room, not just for the round bales, as they'll come down through there, but I also need room for kicker wagons and equipment. You know, I want to put it on the edge of the woods down in here, and you know, you get down into that tip and it's really hard to I mean, it's just not untenable trying to make hay in a little tiny triangular corner. And it kind of gets that way down along that power pole, right in there. So I think I can figure out something, but while I was out here with my camera, I thought I'd mention it. And well, while I'm standing here, I might as well walk out just a tick, see if I see any teff grass, and I do. I'm not looking for that. What I'm looking for, I don't know if you can see that or not, I'm looking for a single blade coming out of the ground. Look right there. So this stuff is germinating. You know, when I got on the farm here, it was about 71, 72 degrees. And the ground is warm, as warm as it could be with the water on it. And the rain, we've just had a warm, soaking rain. And that's exactly what we needed. And once your eyes get acclimated to picking up on where the teff grass is, as I look out here, I see it coming in. So I've gotten my fingers crossed that this will be a productive year with teff grass on this farm. So I put my cultipacker away down there along the woods, but I wanted to get this sprayer out of here and park it in a little different location out of the way. This sprayer is moving up on the round to it list, and I'm probably going to put a new tank on it. That's a fiberglass tank. It might be good, but it's 500 gallons. I'd hate to fill that thing up and have it bust. Anyway, I just kind of got it rigged up on the Massey here. Nothing proper, but Massey Ferguson 50 is just a really excellent chore tractor. And I got a new seat cover for it. Works pretty good. Alright, so I got that thing out of the way. Here's my John Deere KVA disc, a cultipacker, front blade for a Cub Cadet. One of these days I'll get all this sprayed down and mowed. There's no limit to chores you can do on a farm, and then everything grows back. But I'll get it. Let's see, up here's my spring tooth Harrow, or not my spike tooth, but my spring tooth cultivator, Harrow, chisel plow, whatever you want to call it. There's a bale spear. I'm probably going to unload that thing. But what I want to do now is I'm going to go over here and I'm going to hook up to an old rake I brought in last year, and see if I can just pull it away from the barn. And what I'm looking for, it's got a flat tire, and the flat tire won't hold air. But what I'm looking for is to see if the basket will turn even with the flat tire. So what I got on here is this toolbar, and just kind of getting up under things and giving them a pull. But let me get over there to that rake and I'll come back. So I don't know what I'm going to tear up, if I tear up anything. And but I want to see if I can pull it out of here and just get it out of the way. It's got a jack here, but I don't remember if that thing works or not. Yeah, it actually does. But I just kind of, that's probably the only thing that works on it. But I think I got to let this thing down. I don't know if this thing will come back in order to engage it in gear, or how all that works. I don't remember. I've got another one of these, but let me tinker here with it and I'll come back. Okay, so here's what I found, flat tire and all. These bearings seem to be free on both sides. This wheel turns, and it turns. This shaft is turning freely, but when I let it, I guess when it comes this way, I believe it's locked into gear. It wants to slide that wheel. So I don't want to tear anything up, so I kind of pulled it back into freewheeling here, and but nonetheless I did get it off the barn, and I'm going to move it out of the way. This is a model 56 New Holland, and I got another one just like it with a dolly wheel. So I don't think it'll be a hard fix. Maybe it will. Man, these old New Holland roller bar rakes just go on and on and on and on. So I'm gonna try to make it so I can use it. I don't know if it'll be this year or next year or 10 years from now, but I may have mentioned I've got about as much in this rake as it'll bring in scrap metal. So if everything went wrong, it's at least a break even. But let me get this thing out of the way, and then we'll move on to other stuff. I think it's about ready to rain, and continue with the hay update. We'll probably go out into the fields here a little bit, and I'll show you what's going on with that. Right there is kind of a look at the Model 50. I'm sure tractors like that pulled a bazillion of those 56 and 256 roller bar rakes down through the years. It ain't pretty, but I got the New Holland 56 rake out of the way, and there's equipment over in those autumn olives. I got to work on that to retrieve some of that stuff. But let's roll out into the hay fields here and take a look at what's going on there, especially since we got the rain. So one thing I'm not seeing, I mean, there's a little tiny mud puddle right here, but you know, the absence of mud puddles tells me that the ground's really trying to soak up the water. And what we got in here, this used to be a straight Timothy field, and it just naturally grew in to orchard grass and fescue, and there's still Timothy in it. And the problem with the mixed grass hay, fescue and Timothy are not too bad. I mean, I'm sorry, fescue and orchard grass are not too bad, because they kind of put up the seed heads around the same time, and they always come in early, at least around here. But Timothy's usually around the 1st of June or later, putting up their heads. So the problem with a mixed orchard grass, fescue, timothy hay is if you want the full volume of timothy, you got to let the orchard grass and fescue go past mature, or if you want to take the fescue and orchard grass before the timothy's fully headed out, you lose volume on the timothy. I hope I said that right. If I didn't, I'll edit it out. But I got a lot of stems, but down in the ground it's not that thick. It's thicker right here along the road, or along this lane, because it gets a lot more direct light up against the edge of the grass. But it's going to turn off some hay though. It's not going to be too bad at all. I wanted to clip it. I wanted to clip the seed heads off this thing because I wanted a quality second cutting hay. But with the drought we've had, I'm concerned about yield. So I just let it go ahead and make its way into a first cutting hay. My fear is if the rain don't stop, we wanted rain for so long with the drought, but now if the rain doesn't stop, this will go past maturity and turn brown, in which case, I don't know, I might let it just go to seed and then clip it and hope everything goes back to the ground and I can take a second cutting out in August, early September. So one of the things you'll be seeing in the video is I drive up here and turn right or left. You're going to see the front of that barn has kind of caved in, and really the whole barn is going to come down. We had some big winds that kind of took that down, but it was going to come down anyway. But when you see it, don't be panicked. It's supposed to come down. A couple of hay wagons I picked up. I had another video on that. And one thing about the old barn, what I'd like to do is to scavenge as much wood out of it as I can and maybe build another building here on this farm somewhere sometime. But here's what it is. So this is the east field and it looks pretty good. All things considering, I think this rain and the warm temperatures are really going to bring this thing back to life. I know we had probably about 6 or 8 hours of sunshine yesterday. Temperature was up in the upper 70s, I think. Might have been even the low 80s. But certainly rain and sun should really thicken that thing up. You see that lamb's quarter right there? My fear is I haven't sprayed any herbicide on this field because I really didn't have any weed pressure. But my fear is with the rain, the lamb's quarter and the milkweed is going to come shooting out, and I'd like to get this cut before that happens. So this plateau field is right pathetic, and I'm tempted to go ahead and clip it, but I'm hoping that maybe some of this grass will fill in and some stems will come out. This was planted in Claire Timothy originally, and Claire Timothy comes in around the 1st of June, maybe the very, very last part of May. But right here are some Timothy heads, and I really like Timothy hay, and it's right forgiving as far as the window to make it. But seeing this makes me think maybe I should wait a little bit, because even if I make brown bales out of this, if the grass will outcompete some of this velvet grass, and that's what you're seeing out through there, that kind of this stuff right, well, some of it is like a bluegrass, I think, but some of it is like it's a velvet grass. But and we have no sweet vernal grass to speak of. I think the lime and the elevation and the pH helped that. But this is a real Timothy field. Same thing down there on our west field. So I don't know. I'll decide what to do. But even if I consider it a bale of trash, it'll bring more money marked down than a round bale, 4x4 round bale, at least around here. But if I start seeing Timothy come in like I'm seeing right now, that's a very good thing. So in spite of how thin it is, I am seeing some green undergrowth coming in, and it may be the Timothy showing itself. Claire Timothy in these fields, and then on the other field back there I used to plant Climax, and they have two different maturity dates, so I wasn't cutting all at one time. But I don't know, maybe this will turn off some decent hay. There's a milkweed, I believe. So you see this brown looking haze in here, and to some extent across the field. I had originally planned to clip this on this west field, but I don't know. It's mixed grass, and that's how I sell it. So if I square it up, I'll price it accordingly. And but as I drive through here, I'm seeing some Timothy heads starting to show. And like I said, in just not quite 7 days, there's going to be, according to the weather guest, there's a window that we can make some hay in. So maybe I have quite a few Timothy heads in here by the time that comes. It makes me feel good seeing some Timothy rise above all of this other stuff. So this low ground field here, this is one of the fields I'm kind of counting on for some actually pretty decent hay. And again, I killed this field off, planted it in Claire Timothy, and it doesn't last long. 3 or 4 years is about all you get out of a Timothy stand. We're on the southern edge of where it'll grow, but there's such a native, there's such a legacy seed bed in here, and I just see all kinds of orchard grass, and I'm seeing Timothy coming in. I think this is going to make some fine hay right in here, and it's kind of shaded from the sun, as I've alluded to before, but when it comes time to cutting hay, I want the right window, because this is going to be the premium stuff on this farm. And if the teff grass comes in over around my barn, that'll be the other premium stuff. But I think this is looking pretty good. You can tell the Timothy because it's kind of a lighter color grass. When you look down through in here, you'll see blades of grass that are just a little bit lighter shade of green, and that's a Timothy, and I really like that. Fair amount of undergrowth down in here. This is going to turn off some hay. I said I was just going to sell off my wagons and clip everything, and then or maybe make some round bales, but you know, I'm spending money like a drunken sailor on this farm this year, so I'm inclined to make as many squares as I can, and just to offset the cost of the forestry mulching, and I got some other things cooking that I'll share with you later. But this field really looks good. Of course, I got the trees out of the middle of it, like I showed that we took out last spring, really last winter. But if I can get into this field in the next 7 days, I think I'm going to have something that'll bring a pretty good price. And we're seeing square bales around here. Some places they're selling for as much as $14 to $15 a square. And it's amazing. You look at Facebook Marketplace, and some of these horse people are just falling over themselves to buy that kind of hay. Mine won't be priced that high. We don't make as big of a bale, and I'm not sure their bale is all that big either. If they're collecting them with one of these bale barons, I think the longest bale you can have is like 32 inches. So it's not like they got a big 36, 38, 40-inch square bale that they're selling for $15. You see these 21 bale bundles, last I checked, if they're done with a bale baron, then you know, we make about a 32-inch bale. Sometimes a little shorter, sometimes a little longer. But they're lighter and easier to handle, and we're not in the best shape. I know I'm not, and our customers are even worse shape than that. Some people say we're crooks for doing that. Some people just really like it because, you know, their back isn't worth much either, and they just like the lighter bales. Packed tight, but lighter.